Watshona umthwakazo omuhle silamukela njalo kwesinye isiqephu sethu sezindaba ngomsakazo we-Citizens Movement Radio namhla ngoLwesihlanu zingamashumi 24 kuMabasa ngomnyaka ka-2026. Indaba lizethulelwa uKhethiwe Chuma. Ngesikhangile kwethamba phambili namhlanje kumsakazo we-Citizens Movement Radio. Umkhonomi welizwe usasolomango omude kumele uhanjwe ukuze izinto zilunge kusho uMatsebanyika. Okulihlazo ukuba uchivayo usezenze umsekeli kamongameli kusho owebandla eliphikisayo. Ustima lomuka babuyele njalo enkantolo. Nanzi indaba zethu ngokugcweleyo. Ungqongqoshe wezemali kubandla eliphikisayo umhlonishwa uKhopani Matsebanyika uthi ilizwe lisaselomango omude okumele lihambe ukuze lifeze iphupho lokuba kuphileke ngcono elizweni ngomnyaka ka-2030. Umhlonishwa uMatsebanyika uthi ngalokho kungahambisani lokukhulunywa libandla leZANU-PF, izakhamizi eziningi ziphila phakathi kodubo olumangalisayo, kanti njalo kakulona iqiniso ukuba ilizwe selibhekane lomkhonomi okumele ube ngcono. Ake simzweni echasisa ngokugcweleyo.
The government of Zimbabwe is set an over-ambitious objective of attaining a middle-income economy or middle-income status by the year 2030. That means that the government is saying that by year 2030, every Zimbabwean will be able to have a yearly income of about $4,000 per head. That is what it means. So let us explore this phenomenon or this objective to see whether it is achievable or not. As a legislator, and I wish to highlight or to stand to say that it's not going to be very easy to attain this objective. Actually, this objective is over-ambitious. It's not going to be achieved, and I'll give reasons for that. It's not that I am not patriotic, I don't love my country, or I want to see Zimbabwe going down. No, that's not the case. I am a patriotic Zimbabwean. I love my country. I love to see Zimbabwe doing well. I love to see Zimbabwe growing. I love to see Zimbabwe attaining actually a higher income status, not only middle income. But looking at our circumstances, we have to explore each to see if our circumstances allow that, that to happen. So I am going to talk about the two fundamental issues which are so important to achieve this objective. First of all is to do with infrastructure. Infrastructure takes the character of energy, it takes the character of roads and transport, it takes the character of water and sanitation, it takes the character of connectivity in terms of internet, it takes the character of air transport. So looking at power in terms of energy, our electricity generation capacity at the time is so insufficient. And this actually is leading to the rolling out of blackouts across the country. And that seriously affects industry. There is no industry that can kick without power. Power is the lifeblood of all industrial development, whether in rural areas or in urban areas. And as such, we cannot be optimistic to meet this so vital target without energy. Secondly, road and transport. You will find that, let me give an example of a company that requires a coal to do its production in Harare. And the coal is found in Hwange. So it is very cheap to use rail transport to carry the coal from Hwange to Harare than to use as many as possible those to use road transport. So that on its own is a clear sign that the cost of doing business in Zimbabwe is so high. There's no efficiency in cutting down. What the best we can do to grow is to produce our goods cheaply for export. And that can only be attained if we do it efficiently in terms of cutting our costs so that our goods become competitive on the international market. So as long as we don't have an efficient rail system to do that, our goods will be expensive. Then we used to sell flowers to Europe. We used to sell fruit and vegetables to London. And we used to have airlines that were doing that job. Unfortunately, as of today, Zimbabwe is with only one airplane. And that can also become a serious opportunity to say that it's not going to be easy to attain the Vision 2030 objective of having a middle income economy by 2030. It's not going to be possible under the circumstances. Let's talk of water supply. Water supply. Our countries in major cities such as Bulawayo, such as Harare, they are actually struggling with the water supply issues. And you know what? Water is essential to industry in various many ways. So without water, there will be no production. So as such, you can only claim to going to achieve a middle income status when you cannot provide the simple water which is necessary for sanitation. There is this animal again that I need to talk about. The issue to do with the governance issue, the political stability and policy reform. To start with, corruption has become a serious cancer that is eating away the productive capacity we should achieve as a country. You find that Zimbabwe is rated a high corrupt country, and that only affects significantly investors or capital allocators in the world. They look at those very fundamental issues of corruption to see if this country is achievable, it can be faced without any challenges. So the issue of corruption, if you look at Zimbabwe, is losing about 2 billion annually through illicit financial flows. And that has got a very serious issue because it is a leakage out of the economy. When leakages are increasing, the economy collapses. So right now we're in 2026. If the trend continues, it means by 2020 we're going to lose 8 billion worth of our economy. So whenever there's a leakage, there is a strike on the economy. And as such, we need to adhere to work on addressing the issue of corruption so that we protect or we domesticate our production so that we actually increase our gross domestic product. So a high corruption ranking or a high corruption ranking, it undermines investor confidence. And as such, people not invest in a country where there's high corruption. Another important pillar is the rule of law. It is a fundamental requirement that everyone, that all Zimbabweans must be equal before the law. However, in Zimbabwe, the protection of property rights is very essential for investment. However, our legal system under the current circumstances is not independent. Our legal system, in that sense, it is partisan. It gets instructions from ZANU-PF. So even an investor in Zimbabwe is lose its property, especially when it goes to court when it goes to our captured courts against a politically connected person. So as such, investors fear this environment of losing its property because whenever they are in dispute with the ZANU-PF person or the politically connected person, they are going likely to lose their property because the magistrate and the high court judges, they get instructions from politicians. So you will find that for foreign direct investment to come into Zimbabwe, we need to prepare a proper investment climate. Our current investment climate is so toxic. Are you aware that in Zimbabwe it is to bring your capital into Zimbabwe, but you cannot take back your money outside Zimbabwe whenever you so wish? Whenever you want to take out your capital, you are told a lot of stories. It is easy to invest in the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange. It is easy to invest in the Victoria Falls Stock Exchange, but to take your money out, it becomes a problem. And as such, people or investors want to take their money where their money can grow, and there is that mobility to take it out or take it in. And as such, capital allocators need an environment that protects their capital. They need an environment that is easy to take out their money. If you look at our current debt as a country, our current debt is around 30 billion US dollars. And this gives a very huge dent on the country's creditworthiness. It is clear that a debt of 30 billion for a country with a GDP of 55 billion is a sign that this country's creditworthiness is under attack. The country's trust with the traders is so low. And as such, international capital markets will shun this country. For that matter, therefore, the country cannot grow without foreign direct investment. So we need to introspect as a country to see how best we can deal with issues that actually attract investment in our country. Are you aware that for you to get a general investment license in Zimbabwe, for you to get a general investment license as an investor, Zimbabwe charges you $5,000 US, as compared to South Africa and Botswana, they're charging an amount around $400. Why do we charge $5,000 US for a general investment license? So we are our own enemies as a country. And to tell the truth as it is so difficult under the circumstances to achieve a middle income status of $4,000 per capita in terms of income. Unless if we can, like Zimbabwe, I know Zimbabweans, in terms of government, people in government, they can reach that stage by only playing with the figures, which is not resembling what is happening on the ground. So as such, the issue of attaining a middle income economy remains a pipe dream under the circumstances.
Omunye wesiphathamandla kubandla eliphikisayo uStephen Sarkozy Chuma uthi isikhohlakali sebandla leZANU-PF uWinnie Chivayo usezenze umsekeli kamongameli welizwe uEmmerson Mnangagwa. Ekhuluma ngembukiso ebithethwe kuZimbabwe International Trade Fair lapho uChivayo abonakale eseceleni kukaMnangagwa kanye lomongameli waseBotswana uDuma Boko. uChuma uthi kulihlazo kuba uChivayo nguye osengumsekeli kaMnangagwa ngokungekho emthethweni. Ake sizweni uChuma ekhuluma.
Yes, it is now crystal clear that the corruption poster boy of the Second Republic, Winnie Chivayo, has now become the second secretary of ZANU-PF and has since assumed the duties of the vice president. It is clear that Chivayo has become a de facto vice president, because how would one explain Chivayo being in the midst of President Duma Boko and Emmerson Mnangagwa at ZITF. It's clear that Chivayo is acting as Mnangagwa's de facto vice president. This has a dangerous implication because it will threaten civil unrest in this country. We have seen it in the past whereby Grace Mugabe became the de facto vice president of the republic, and we saw what happened on 17 November 2017 when the tankers of the military were deployed in the streets of Harare to make sure that there's no vacuum of the presidency. This is exactly what is happening in Zimbabwe. Chivayo is now the de facto president of the republic, is making decisions on behalf of the government. The ministers, the cabinet ministers, have since become useless under Emmerson Mnangagwa. This is why you see Chivayo goes to town saying we now want to give MPs 10,000 and it is approval of Emmerson Mnangagwa. Where in this world does this happen? It can only happen in Zimbabwe, where we have a banana republic, where we have a government that has not been elected, but that imposed itself to the people through rigging of elections in 2023. So our message to all Zimbabweans is that we must unite and confront this dictatorship of Emmerson Mnangagwa.
Umqoqi wabatsha kunhlanganiso ye-Defend the Constitution Platform u-Emmanuel Sitima kanye lomunye olwela amalungelo abantu baye babuyela njalo enkantolo yaseMbare Magistrates Court namhlanje ukuyalalela icala labo. Ababili laba betheswa amacala angekhoyo okulimaza impahla, lokhu kuphehlwa lilunga lebandla leZANU-PF uTongai Mnangagwa. Icala labo lidluliselwe phambili mhla ziyisishiyagalombili kunyanga ezayo. Intatheli zindaba yomsakazo we-Citizen Movement Radio Nicole usinikeze le imininingwana.
Okay, greetings. How are you? So I managed to attend court here, Emmanuel Sitima. Pandashika Yamashasha Pera Saga. I couldn't have a clear cotisation, but yeah, Sitima, I was there. He was given a routine remand up to 8 May, and so the lawyer said, if Mukatiba add a routine remand and muchita ma investigations enyo by 8 May tikauya kana musina evidence yamana takutanga trial. So yeah, vabvumirana kuti if 8 May kana vasina zvavawana evidence or proof yavawana takutanga trial, but zvese izvi hapana mhosva yakaparwa naSitima or naMashasha. It's only because they're opposing the constitutional amendment bill number 3. That's why they are being detained for many days and they are being delayed. But hapana nyaya ingori yekuti vari kungoramba constitutional amendment bill number 3. Thank you.
Inhlanganiso ye-Commonwealth Lawyers Association CLA izolo yethule inkulumo isola kakhulu ukuhlaselwa kweGqwetha elilwela amalungelo abantu Douglas Coulthard ngesikhathi kusenziwa imihlangano yokulalelwa kwembono yabantu ngokujintshwa kwesisekelo sombuso ngokwehlandla lesithathu. Kunkulumo yabo inhlanganiso le ithi ukuhlaselwa lokhu kuveza kusobala ukuba kawukho umthetho kanti njalo lokukhuluma ngokukhululeka kakukho kwele Zimbabwe. Inhlanganiso le iyakhuthaza uhulumende ukuba iqinisekise ukuba amagqwetha enza umsebenzi wabo ngendlela eqondileyo bengakhahlanyezwa. Usopolitiki uJacob Ngarivume usechothoze kakhulu amapholisa ngokusebenzisa umthetho ngobandlululo. Lokhu kuza ngemva kokuba amapholisa evimbe imihlangano emibili enhlanganiso ye-Constitution Defenders Forum le ebimele yenziwe eWatsomba Business Center kanye leMoffat Hall eSakhuva. Abaphanga izizathu zokuvimba le imihlangano. Imihlangano le bekumele yenziwe ngempelaviki. Ekhuluma emakhasini akhe okuxhumana uNgarivume uthi sokusobala ukuba ibandla leZANU-PF yilo lodwa elivunyelwayo ukuba lenze imihlangano, kukanti ibandla eliphikisayo lona liyenqatshelwa ukwenza okufanayo. Ibandla le-MDC selilande inkantolo lapho lifuna ukuba amapholisa ehlise isinqumo sabo sokubavimba ukuba benze imibhikisho eHarare lapho besola ukutshintshwa kwesisekelo sombuso ngokwehlandla lesithathu. Kunkulumo yethulwe ngusomlomo wemongameli weleli bandla uLloyd Tambo bathi sebehambe enkantolo lapho behlose ukuba bafuna amapholisa abanikeze imvumo yokuba baqhubekele phambili ngalo mbhikisho. Ngaphansi kwesicaphuno sama-59 kusisekelo sombuso, izakhamizi zilalo ilungelo lokuba babhikishe njalo bacele ukulalelwa. uBellarmine Mugabe, indodana kalo wayebusa kweleZimbabwe uRobert Mugabe, kanye lomunye wakhe abasolwa ndawonye uTobias Mathoritse baye bavela enkantolo namhlanje lapho besetheswa icala lokudubula owayesebenza engadini emzini kaMugabe kwele-South Africa. Ophenyisisa ngalolu daba utshele inkantolo ukuba uSipho Mahlangu obesebenza engadini yakoMugabe emzini kaMugabe wadutshulwa kanti njalo waphiwa imali engange-R250,000 njengendlela yokumxolisa, wasilela enye njalo i-R150,000. Abashushisi bathi laba kumele bathole isigwebo esinzima ngendlela yokuthi babasola ukuba bafihla umbhobho owasetshenziswayo lapho besithi wafihlwa ngomunye walabo ababekhona endlini. Icala leli lidluliselwe phambili mhla zingama-29 kuyona le inyanga, kanti njalo abashushisi bathi kumele bagwetshwe bahlale phakathi ejele. uPrime Minister wase-Italy uGiorgia Meloni usethe uhulumende wakhe akazukuvumela ilizwe lakhe ukuba lithathwe indawo ye-Iran emidlalweni ye-World Cup. Lokhu kuza ngemva kokuba kube lembiko yokuba uhulumende waseMelika ufuqa inhlanganiso yeFIFA ukuba i-Iran iphume kungene i-Italy endaweni yabo emidlalweni ye-World Cup ezakudlalwa lonyaka idlalelwe e-America kanye le-Canada le-Mexico. Sekube lokuthandabuza ukubana i-Iran iza kuqhubekela phambili yini emidlalweni le ngenxa yobudlelwano obungahambi kuhle phakathi kwelizwe laseMelika lele-Iran. Kumidlalo yeKhasilaka Premier Soccer League kule impelaviki, labo abasanda kuthola ithuba lokunqoba kuyona le isizini iHighlanders iza kubhekana lalabo abathungamela phambili iCapes United enkundleni yeBarberfields ngeSonto. Nansi eminye imidlalo ekhangelelwe ukuba ibe khona. Ingezi iza kudlala le-Agama, iSimbabora yona iza kudlala le-FC Platinum, iManica Diamond iza kudlala le-Hard Rock, iHunters iza kubhekana le-Triangle, iTel1 yona iza kudlala le-Herentals, iMoz iza kudlala le-Scotland, iBulawayo Chiefs iza kubhekana le-Chicken Inn, bese kusithi iDynamos yona idlale le-ZPC Kariba. Kumidlalo ye-English Premier League, iSunderland yona iza kubhekana le-Nottingham Forest namhlanje kusihlwa lapho kuqala imidlalo yempelaviki. Nansi eminye imidlalo ekhangelelwe ukuba ibe khona ngempelaviki. iFulham iza kubhekana le-Aston Villa, iWest Ham iza kudlala le-Everton, iWolves idlale le-Tottenham, iLiverpool yona iza kubhekana le-Palace, i-Arsenal ibisibhekana le-Newcastle, bese kusithi iManchester United ibhekane le-Brentford. Ukuziphetha lezi indaba kumsakazo we-Citizens Movement Radio, nanze bezihamba phambili. Umkhonomi welizwe kusaselo mangomude ukuba uhanjwe ukuze ube ngcono, kusho Matsivanyika. Kulihlazo ukuba uChivayo sezenze umsekeli kamongameli welizwe, kusho webandla eliphikisayo. uStima loMuka babuyele njalo enkantolo. Siziphetha lapha lezi indaba.